Good morning students, I am Dr. Anshudha Gupta Soni. I am back with my new video on nanotechnology and its concept. In this video we are going to discuss what is nanotechnology, the history of nanotechnology, the divisions of nanotechnology, the considerations we used to keep while designing nanotechnology based drug delivery system, advantages, disadvantages, etc. I hope you will like this video. Please like, share and subscribe our channel for more informative videos. So let's start today's video. Students, as we all know that nanotechnology is the science that deals with the process that occurs at molecular level and of nano-length scale size. A large number of nanosystems which have been investigated in pharmacy to date are liposomes, dendrimers, metallic nanoparticles, polymeric nanoparticles, carbon nanotubes, quantum dots, nanofibers, etc. From the figure displayed over here, you can understand what are the different types of nanoparticles we are using in drug delivery system with their size ranges. So students, let's discuss the history of nanostructures. The first generation was around 2000, in which passive nanostructures came into existence. It consists of dispersed and contact nanostructures and products incorporating nanostructures like aerosols and colloids, and in next category it comes nanoparticles, reinforced composite, nanostructure metals, polymeric and ceramics. So these was the first generation product. Around 2005, active nanostructures came, which is the second generation, which consists of targeted drug, biodevices, and in physiochemical active category it comes amplifiers, adaptive structures, etc. Around 2010, the third generation of nanosystem came into existence, and it includes robotics, 3D networking and new hierarchical architectures and some other things. From 2015 to 2020, molecular nanosystems came into existence, and it includes molecular devices which are meant for functioning at molecular level. Students, the diagram displayed over here, you can easily understand the division of nanotechnology into nanomaterials and nanodevices. This diagram I have specifically displayed over here to get a rational idea on how the nanotechnology branch is divided and how it works on the basis of technology and in the field of our science or medicine. So we can broadly divide nanotechnology into forms, that is nanomaterial and nanodevices. Nanodevices consist of microarrays, respirocytes, NEMS and MEMS. These are the techniques or devices which are very helpful in diagnosing different diseases and for evaluation of certain extent of disease, while nanomaterial consists of two subcategories, that is nanocrystalline and nanostructured. Nanostructured is further divided into polymer and non-polymer. And polymeric, when we talk about polymers, then the different type of vesicular system consists of nanoparticles, dendrimers, micelles and drug conjugates. While in case of non-polymeric drug delivery system, it consists of carbon nanotubes, metallic nanoparticles, quantum dots and silica nanoparticles. So by this diagram you can easily understand, and there is no confusion between polymeric and non-polymeric nanoparticles as well as the division of nanotechnology. This diagram I have displayed over here is of different type of vesicular system that we are discussing, and we have previously discussed on polymeric and non-polymeric nanoparticles and nanostructures. So this diagram gives you a clear-cut idea how these vesicular system actually look. It consists of polymeric nanoparticles, polymeric micelles, dendrimers, polymeric hydrogels, polymer drug conjugates, Next category comes of liposome, solid lipid nanoparticle, phospholipid micelles, nanoemulsion and self-emulsifying drug delivery system. And non-polymeric consists of quantum dots, gold nanoparticles, magnetic nanoparticles, silica nanoparticles and carbon nanotubes. So by this diagram you can easily understand the structure of the nanoparticles or nano carriers that we use with the help of nanotechnology. So student, here you can understand that what are the consideration we used to keep while designing a nanostructure or a nano carrier system. So what are the considerations? So these considerations are mechanism of drug release, route of drug administration, drug properties, biocompatibilities, duration of delivery, nature of vehicle and ability to target. These are the factors that governs the nano design that we are going to formulate. Why we used to formulate? These are the reasons. Mechanism of drug release, if you want to alter the mechanism of drug release, if we want to opt for a better route of drug administration, or the previously opted drug administration route is not so specific, or it is not so or it is causing certain side effects, then also we can change the route of administration by using different type of nanovesicular system. For example, if we cannot give a drug as oral in the form of conventional, or it is causing some trouble, or if it is causing some side effect, then we can administer it in the form of nanostructure. Then drug properties. So there are number of properties like solubility, and certain pharmacokinetic properties are there which lead to lower drug absorption. At that time we need to formulate our drug in a form of such a vesicular system which can incorporate our drug inside our body with a good solubility and a better pharmacokinetic profile. Then biocompatibility. In order to improve the drug biocompatibility, we can also use nanostructures. Then duration of delivery. This is the most important thing. If you want to deliver our drug for a longer period of time in our body, then we have to design it in such a way that it retain inside of our body, and it should be protected from acid or enzymes or certain type of mechanism that occurs in ours at cellular level. So we can also interfere with the duration of delivery of drug by using nanostructure. Then the nature of vehicle, and then comes ability to target. By incorporating a drug inside a vesicular system or a nanostructure, we give the drug the ability to be targeted. We can bind it to a ligand. We can make it in such a way, we can design it in such a way that it is specifically focused to the targeted organ or tissue or the cell rather than to the entire body. So these are the considerations, or these are the things that we used to keep in our mind when we used to design a drug in the form of a nanostructure. Now comes the most important thing, that is the application of nanotechnology in pharmaceutical sciences. So the general application includes intracellular targeting, which is the most important thing running nowadays. Then comes treatment of leprosy. There are so many cases in which the infection is underlying, and in that cases nano carrier system has played a very critical role to improve the patient compliance as well as in curing the disease. Then in brain drug delivery, dendrimers are the good example of giving drugs in brain drug delivery. Then DNA delivery, then lymph targeting. The lymph targeting is another very prone area of nanotechnology in which the drug is incorporated in the form of nano carrier and is being targeted to the lymph system, because the conventional dosage form could not deliver the drug to that specific site. Then ocular drug delivery, advanced nanotechnology has been incorporated in ocular drug delivery to improve the vision and patient compliance, then avoidance of multi-drug resistance, and then in the treatment of chemotherapy. So these are the general application where nanotechnology has played a crucial role in the field of pharmaceutical sciences. Students, now comes the area where the nanotechnology is playing crucial role in medicine as well as in biopharmaceuticals and in pharmaceutical sciences. So these areas are in the development of nanomedicines, in the area of tissue engineering, then in the development of nanorobots, then as a diagnostics and as a carrier of diagnostics, nanotechnology is being utilized to develop good diagnostic agents as well as in vivo diagnostic agent and carrier of diagnostic agent for early diagnosis of the disease. Then biosensors and biomarkers are there. Acute biomarkers have been developed from the body in vivo to gain a quick access or to gain a good evaluation of the disease. Then image enhancement. So these are the certain application of nanotechnology in pharmacy as well as in the field of medicine and technology concerning to the human health. The diagram displayed over here, through this diagram I have tried to illustrate you the advantage of nanotechnology in drug development. Actually how when we design a drug carrier, then how does it improve the properties of the drug as well as its effect on our body. So when a drug is incorporated in the form of a nanostructure carrier, or it is added inside a nanovesicular system, then it increases the surface, resulting into increasing in the solubility, resulting into increasing dissolution rate, which leads to two outcomes. First is faster effector response and second is higher bioavailability. Since we are using lesser amount of drug, then the effect of variability of food effect, it decreases, then interpatient variability also decreases, and then compound burden also, there is a reduction in compound burden, and side effect also decreases because the drug is specifically incorporated in a nanostructure having small amount of drug as compared to conventional drug, but the amount which is incorporated is directly targeted or focused to the site of action. So it decreases side effect and it increases response or faster effect or drug effect inside the body. So students, nanotechnology based drug delivery system is less toxic as well as it is inexpensive, and it is suited for better drug delivery to small region within the human body. As such, drug can easily cross biological membranes. Then nanotechnology is particularly useful in case of drugs with narrow therapeutic indexes, and nanoparticles can be used in targeted drug delivery at the site of diseases to improve the uptake of poorly soluble drugs, the targeting of drugs to a specific site, and the drug bioavailability. So these are the certain advantages of nanotechnology in our field. Dear student, here we come to an end of our video. This was a video which was based on the introduction of nanotechnology and its concept. I hope you will like this video. Keep conceptualizing the matter, and thanks for watching our video. Stay at home, stay safe, and please like, share and subscribe our channel for more informative videos. After this video, I'll upload a MCQ on this video, so please watch our video and give the answer and mail me to the previously informed mail ID. Thank you.